Okay, this is the Sharp PS-916. PS stands for party speaker. Of course, I loaned it to my daughter this morning for her party, and then she calls me immediately, Dad, something's wrong with your speaker, and I certainly didn't do it, because they never do. It just happens. Anyway, it was stuck on. This is how you normally turn it off and on. You hold it down, and it's going to work now. Or it better. Yeah, there we go. Because I have repaired it. But I could push it all day, and all of this was locked out. There was nothing here that was working. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to take it apart. And I figured if I disconnected the power supply, I could reset it. I have successfully fixed it, but I'm going to show you how I managed to get it apart because I couldn't find any videos over there. So I've taken it apart, and this is where I came to the access panel. Try and get in there with the light. Anyways, there are two on this model. The black and red is the power supply. Underneath here, you see the black and red one closest to us is plugged into a red plastic thing on the circuit board. That is the live one. That is where the battery is going to energize the circuit board. The one behind it goes to the back panel. I'll show you that in a second, where the USB would hook into it to send it charging. So in order to disconnect the power supply, I had to take the top off, and then I removed it from here. This one right here, I gently pulled it out. So I'm going to show you how I got from a whole speaker over to this. So that's the plan right now. I'm going to have my assistant come and film while I do this. All right. So all of this in here, I'm going to tuck back in neatly. You can remove the circuit board. That was not necessary for this. I'm putting it back down. This is actually ingenious. You're going to see these slide down over here on this side. Just pound it into place. Make sure that these are coming through. You know, this is going to end up being the charging port, USB. This is for obviously a larger, what am I saying, a stereo plug, and this is stereo mini. You know, if you wanted to hook in your Walkman or whatever, or your cell phone, if you're fortunate enough to still have a port on it. Over here, you might notice this black wire. This is glue. This black wire, believe it or not, is an antenna for the AM/FM radio. And so it's wrapped around here. I wouldn't mess with it unless you absolutely have to take it apart to its smallest component, because this stuff is just delicate. So we put that on there, and we'll make sure that these are on here. Now I have these screws. There are several different types. There's these two big ones that have big washers on them. There are little ones that have little washers on them, and there are other ones that have no washers on them. Hang on. Yes. Some of them have little washers and some of them have no washers. So I'm going to take 4 of the ones that have little washers on them, and they're the ones that are going to go in here. And when I took this apart, I didn't know how to take it apart. So I didn't film myself taking it apart because it could have been a real disaster. I had no idea what I was doing. So this is me putting it back together. Oh, wait. I did something to make sure that this happened quicker. If you use a drill, make sure you use like the lowest torque setting. I don't normally use a drill when I'm working on fine electronics like this, if Sharp just constitutes fine electronics these days. So put this on here. And actually, if I didn't have a lot of experience, now this is the part where I tell you I am not a Sharp speaker technician. I am an ATM technician. And also an 80s kid. So I had to take plenty of shit apart when I was a kid. And that is the only reason I feel comfortable doing it now. But I'm not qualified to do this. Now, these are the sides of the speaker. You're going to see there's these three little not nipples, tabs. That's the word I'm looking for. If you look, there's two cutouts up here that you could end up using a screwdriver to pry off. But these are going to go through here, and you'll see back here that they fit in the side. So I'm going to get this back in delicately. Real delicate. And then I'm going to beat the shit out of it. It will fit in here somehow because it came out of here. Make sure I didn't put it on the wrong side. I don't know if they're unique to the sides that I've taken them off of. There we go. Yay, elbow grease. Here we go. All right, remember, I told you I'm not a technician. So by doing that, those tabs are now going to be accessible in here. So I'm going to, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to now go here. And I'm going to do set up. It's a real pain in the ass getting them in and out because I've got these big fingers. If I had thought more about it, I would have made my daughter help me because she has little fingers and she's the reason that my day went sideways doing this. But, you know, kids. Requires a lot of patience. And also, I have no intention of editing this video. I'm just going to upload it. It's my good deed for the day. So that if you yourself are struggling with one of these, this will be enough information to get you going. You see how that kind of nonsense happens? We're going to forget about it for now. Just know that these all have to go back in here. 1, 2, oh, and most important, there's a handle up here. I did not need to take it off. I didn't know that. There's 2 screws that go in here. 2 of them are going to be, they're going to have the tiny little washer built onto the screw. To get it off properly, you want to take it out and tilt it up like this. And put it back in there, which you shouldn't really need to take it off. It goes back in there, so just tilt it up and down. So, put that in there. The screws are going to go in there, and I'm going to do all this later. Obviously, there's another one of these that goes on the other side. Not going to do that right now. And then back here, this is the back of it. Right here is where those bigger screws go that hold this in place. So you're gonna have to make sure it lines up like this, obviously. And there we are. All right. It's important to make sure that this is lined up properly because that's where you're going to put your cables in. And if it's not secured properly, you know, once you push the cable in, it's not going to stay. So this is going to go here. And this one's going to go here. It's always a good idea when you're putting in something that has to be precise and level to go down one side at a time, you know, rather than see, I screwed that one up. It is not level. And had I not been worrying about making a video, I would have realized that. But, well, you can figure that out yourself. This here is the power supply going in. So, you know, that's how you charge it on the back here. This is the one that I was showing you underneath that actually brings the juice to the circuit board, you know, when you plug it in. This here, I'm guessing, is for all the other inputs. I don't know what this ribbon cable is for. Always avoid taking ribbon cables apart if you can help it. And then this is going to go on the back here. And then there are 11 screws back here. And that's what these black ones are. So this is probably the worst how-to video I've ever made. But if you're like me, you're going to find out it's the only how-to video on YouTube at this point. So best of luck with your Sharp PS-916 speaker. I'm going to upload this and go put this together properly when I can concentrate on it without also narrating. Again, I am not a Sharp speaker technician. I'm not even an audio person, really. I'm an ATM technician. By the way, if you need an ATM or you want to get in the ATM business, go to virginiaatms.com and I can help you get an ATM. But other than that, you know, happy electronics fixing, guys. See ya.